The Ben Lomond Hotel. Located on historic 25th Street of downtown Ogden, Utah, Ben Lomond Suites Historical Hotel started life as the 5-story Reed Hotel in 1891. The Ben Lomond Hotel is one of the most haunted hotels in Utah. It was originally a boarding house, and during the Prohibition era, a tunnel was built to smuggle alcohol. It became a popular haunt among prostitutes and unscrupulous individuals. These days, it is haunted by a number of spirits, including those of a mother and son. In room 1102, a lady drowned in the bathtub on her wedding night. Now, guests who stay in the room report the water in the tub running by itself, and some have even described being pushed under the water by unseen hands. However, there is more to this story. After the bride passed, her son came to the hotel to collect her belongings and stayed in the room next door. He was so overcome with sadness, he took his own life. Now, he is said to be haunting the hotel to this very day. The Devorax Mansion in Salt Lake City. The oldest part of the mansion dates back to 1857 when it was built by William C. Staines, a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, who traveled to Salt Lake City from England with the first pioneer groups. It's changed hands several times over the next few years and was almost destroyed by fire in 1979. Since then, it has been renovated and opened as a restaurant and wedding venue. It is also said to be incredibly haunted. There are at least 2 ghosts who call the mansion home. The first is a young girl who has a particular affinity for playing tricks on the kitchen staff. She is also known to wave at people at night. The second spirit is thought to be either the former lady of the house or a head housekeeper. In contrast to the cheerful little girl, she is said to be far more aggressive towards visitors, although it is believed that she believes she is simply protecting the mansion from misuse. So when you're there, be sure to pay respect, or you might find her in the worst of situations. The McCune Mansion in Salt Lake City. The McCune Mansion was built in 1901 and took around 3 years and $1 million to build. These days, it is used as a venue for weddings and lots of other types of celebrations. There is said to be 2 different apparitions that are haunting the building: a man in a black cape and a little girl of about 10 years of age who particularly enjoys when there are weddings taking place. There is a picture of the girl hanging in the mansion, so she was obviously a former resident. She is often spotted at weddings where she can be seen dancing and giggling. On the other hand, the man is usually seen around Christmas time. The man in the black cape is also well known to scare those who trespass in his hallways. Mercer Cemetery, TOOELE. Old cemeteries are pretty creepy at the best of times, but when there are reports of paranormal activity in the area, it gets that little bit more terrifying. This is the case with Mercer Cemetery in TOOELE, Utah, which is said to be one of the most haunted cemeteries in the state. It has been said that a phantom horseman gallops across the cemetery at night, and many visitors report hearing phantom footsteps and seeing shadowy figures. Interestingly, it seems like most of the spirits haunting the cemetery are actually children, but it is not clear why. Some people have speculated that the phantom horseman is responsible for all of these children's spirits. It has also been said that during the blood moon, that's when all of the spirits at the cemetery come out. But no one has ever said if these spirits were harmful or helpful. So the real question lies, is it the fact that no one has seen it, or that no one has lived to tell the tale? Moon Lake in High UINTAS. At first glance, Moon Lake is a beautiful and placid location. It is no surprise that it is a popular campsite. However, appearances can be deceptive, and this spot is actually one of the most haunted places in the state. Those who camp there often find themselves encountering the ghost of a young girl who has clearly been the victim of drowning in the lake. She appears dripping wet, and her skin is bloated and tinged with blue. It seems that she does not fully understand that she has passed on and is looking for her family. Moon Lake is also said to be the home to a water-dwelling cryptid that looks like a giant serpent. This serpent is known to creep in into campsites and to prey on unsuspecting people. If you were to ever lock eyes with the serpent, you'd be lost forever with your soul. So make sure that when you're camping there, to steer clear of the water at night. The Mountain Meadows Massacre in VEYO, Utah. The Mountain Meadows Massacre was a series of attacks on the Baker-Francher immigrant wagon train at Mountain Meadows in southern Utah. The attacks began on September 7, 1857, and culminated on September 11, 1857, resulting in the mass slaughter of the immigrant party by the members of the Utah Territorial Militia from the Iron County District. The Mormon militia also tried to cover up the massacre by portraying themselves as Native Americans. According to records, a group of settlers who were arriving from Arkansas were brutally murdered by the Mormon militia. Somewhere between 100 and 140 people perished during the massacre. It is now said to be one of the most haunted areas in Utah. For the Mormon militia told these immigrants that they would have safe passage through the territory. However, when they were taken out of their encampment, all except younger children were massacred in Mountain Meadows. Visitors tell tales of hearing the cries of the victims being carried on the wind, and say that they feel a terrible wave of sadness overcoming them. It is also a dark part of Utah's religious history. So when entering Mountain Meadows and you feel like staying there for the night, make sure that you have an open mind to all the possibilities. The old TOOELE Hospital in TOOELE, Utah. In 1873, TOOELE Hospital was built as a family home for Samuel F. Lee. However, by 1913, it had been turned into a home for the elderly. These days, it is unique, in fact, that half of the property is still a nursing home and the other half is a haunted attraction. It is also one of the most haunted places in Utah. Lots of people have described the ghost of a little girl named Jessica, who will follow them around, while others comment on a former patient named Wes. There are also reports of the original owner Samuel F. Lee haunting the building. There is also a much darker and more malevolent force in the abandoned section of the hospital, and no one is keen to go down there on their own. The Rio Grande Depot in Salt Lake City. The Rio Grande Depot is said to be haunted by a spirit known as the Purple Lady. It is believed that she died when she chased down an engagement ring which was thrown into the path of a train. It is said that she haunts the ladies' restrooms, although she is often spotted in other spots around the depot. The Purple Lady is not alone in haunting the Rio Grande Depot. There is also a man haunting the building. It is said that he died during construction of the depot's tunnel. He is now said to haunt the basement of the Rio Grande. So for those that want to travel into the depot's tunnel or the ladies' restroom, be wary. You might find something you won't anticipate. Rock Canyon in Provo. Rock Canyon in Provo is a popular climbing spot, but only for experienced climbers. There have been a number of deaths due to climbers losing their grip on the steep rock face and plummeting into the canyon below. These tragic deaths have contributed to the negative energy in the area, and the surrounding campgrounds are believed to be haunted. The most common sighting is of a man standing on one of the high rocky ledges. He is said to stare down at the living before running straight towards them at an impossible angle down the steep rock face. He vanishes into thin air just before he is about to make contact with the ground. Others have reported instances of mothers with their children plummeting into the earth, yet when the climbers would take a peek downward, they would see no body and not hear a crash. Southern Utah University in Cedar City. Southern Utah University is allegedly very haunted, and there have been plenty of tales of the paranormal from students and faculty members alike. One of the most common occurrences is a ghostly pianist who regularly plays Deep Purple in Braithwaite Fine Arts Gallery. Apparently, she had been due to play the song at junior prom, but died before she had the chance. This is not the only musical spirit that is said to haunt the Southern Utah University campus. In Old Main, there is said to be a specter named Virginia who plays unnerving flute music. She has also been blamed for setting the building on fire in 1948 on the 50th anniversary of her death. She was apparently found brutally murdered and draped over a large piece of sandstone. That same rock was apparently used in the building, which is why she is tied to the place, making it one of the most haunted universities in Utah.